You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, Cyber Monday hits record sales this year, but shoppers still have one problem to contend with. Very own Lonnie Walton shares a few tips to help keep your shipping orders safe from porch pirates.
Also, our KOAM Toy Box Toy Drive is in full swing. We'll hear from one of the organizations we partner with on how Toy Box impacts the community.
And it is a bit warmer out there this morning with the winds, though you couldn't tell. It will be much warmer by this afternoon. A look at that forecast to get you out the door is coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's coming up on 7:01 on this Wednesday, December the 4th. And so we made it. We had our Toy Box Tuesday telethon yesterday. And of course, we were in the Joplin Parade last night. So we are partially caffeinated, at least.
Just partially, yes.
We're gonna some way
up a little bit later than normal, but it was great to see so many people out
It's
there.
a lot of fun. A lot of folks out there to see. Lots of fun. It's worth staying up for, but it hits you the next morning. It's something that might be hitting your door.
Yeah.
Porch pirates.
Yes, cases of porch pirates have risen nationally and are also a problem here in the 4 states. Now, Joplin alone has an average of more than 2,600 larceny and theft cases per year.
But taking extra precautions can help protect your package deliveries. KOAM's Lonnie Walton talks to the experts for tips on how to protect your porch from piracy this holiday season.
The problem is, when it's only a $30 package, the cops aren't going to get involved.
David Touchton is the owner of Touchton Electric and Alarms in Pittsburgh. He says theft is always a thing, even if Christmas isn't around. Touchton says it takes the entire community working together to prevent crime.
If the street comes together and puts a recording device so that they can record the license plate, now you're giving the cops the license plate number and the video, you have a lot better chance of something happening.
Jim Clements is a worker for Electric Systems in Webb City. He says if you want to beat the pirates, you have to make it a little uneasy for them.
Decorations and stuff, keep them locked. Make it as difficult as possible to remove it. Signs, yard signs, stickers that say you're being video recorded.
Most experts we talk to says it doesn't stop the porch pirates from committing a crime, but it surely helps the police.
Well, if you're given the description of the car, the license plate number, and a picture of the person taking the package, you now give the police actually something they can use.
Touchton says times are hard for some, and it may cause them to take extreme measures.
It's one of those things that it is going to get worse, just because people are trying to survive.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Well, Clemens says you should never put yourself in danger if you encounter a porch pirate.
It's always important to just make sure that you're aware of those deliveries. You know, I know some folks, they get the deliveries where they work, because in a lot of cases you spend so much of your day there, it's easier if it just comes to your workplace. So if you can do that, that might be a safer way to go, because you obviously can't control the time that the package arrives. And yeah, it's tough. That's the hard part about online shopping. That's why I'm an old-fashioned guy. I order stuff online, but I do prefer to buy it in person, because it's coming from my car into the house. So it's a little safer.
Lots of options out there, even to just, I mean, ordering from places where you know that they'll reimburse you is easier too, because this is common, so common.
Yeah, unfortunately. So we've got a slightly warmer start to the day out there. It doesn't feel that way because of the winds, but it is a bit warmer. Let's start with a quick look outside from our camera downtown Pittsburgh. We have partly cloudy skies, so kind of obscuring the sunrise out there, but otherwise, again, it doesn't look too bad. MoDOT camera, 20th and Rangeline, again, also looking fairly decent this morning. Into the future track. So this morning, we have southwest winds that are gusting upwards of 30 and in some cases almost 40 miles an hour. By noon, they begin to shift out of the northwest, but that will not stop our warm up for today. We're still looking at highs, upper 50s, maybe even some low 60s in our southern counties out there with clear skies. The partly cloudy skies will clear by mid-morning out there. By 8, yeah, it's chilly, but not that bad. We're still into the 40s by 8 o'clock. It won't be until after midnight that a cold front comes in, shifts the winds out of the north, and drops these temperatures another 20 some odd degrees out there. So that's something we'll just have to wait for and see. All right. Right now, though, not bad. 45 in Joplin, 41 in Pittsburgh, and across the region, we're mostly into the upper 30s and low to mid 40s. So again, we are warmer. In fact, we are much warmer. However, with the winds gusting, it is putting wind chills for everybody into the 30s. So it definitely feels cold out there. But again, we are upwards of 20 to nearly 30 degrees in some cases, warmer now than we were at this time 24 hours ago. So again, highs today, upper 50s for most of us, maybe some low 60s in our southern counties, partly cloudy through mid-morning. Skies will clear, and we're doing pretty good as we head into the evening hours. It's just going to be breezy out there. Again, that cold front comes through tonight. It will make things considerably colder as we head into our Thursday. We'll go over those details with you in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
Chris, thanks. Well, the state of Missouri carries out the execution of a man convicted of raping and killing 9-year-old Rowan Ford. Christopher Collins was put to death with an injection of a single dose of pentobarbital. Now, he was pronounced dead at 6:10 yesterday evening. Time ran out for Collins Monday when the U.S. Supreme Court turned aside an appeal and Missouri Governor Mike Parson denied clemency. In November 2007, Collins abducted, raped, and murdered 9-year-old Rowan Ford from Stella, Missouri in Newton County. He later threw her body into a sinkhole known as Fox Cave near Powell, Missouri in McDonald County. Court records show Collins burned the rope he used to strangle Ford, the bloodstained clothing he wore during the attack, and his blood-stained mattress. Collins eventually confessed to authorities. In 2012, a jury from Platte County and a courtroom in Phelps County convicted Collins and sentenced him to death. Ford's stepfather, David Spears, was also charged with murder and rape, but pleaded guilty to reduced charges of child endangerment and hindering prosecution. In a statement, Rowan's older sister, Marianne Mack, said in regard to her sister, quote, "I'm so proud of the girl that she was turning out to be. A part of me died when my sister died. I did lose my ray of sunshine," end quote. Collins' execution marks the 4th for the state of Missouri this year. In Independence, Kansas, emergency crews responded to a structure fire at Independence Community College late Monday night. Now, the building that burned was formerly a dorm for students, but was currently used as staff housing. There were no injuries to occupants and no injuries to firefighters. The cause of the death is under investigation. Now you can stay up to date with the latest news, weather, and sports with the KOAM Plus TV streaming app. It's available on Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV Plus, and Roku. The player is also available on our news and weather apps, as well as our website. Now watch live streaming anytime, absolutely free. The KOAM Plus TV streaming app. When you donate to the Toy Box campaign, you don't just provide toys, you provide a brighter and happier Christmas for kids across our area. And for many people and organizations, this campaign is a real labor of love, and we couldn't do it without their support. One of those organizations is Equity Bank, who took us on a Toy Box shopping spree.
Just one of my favorite times of year, just being able to get together and work with other people in the community to help give these kids the Christmas that every kid deserves. So we just enjoy it. We enjoy being able to be a part of it and help bring some joy to the kids. It's because we get the first pick of everything, and we get to come in, try to find some things that the kids are going to love, and just kind of get the first pick through to get the stage set for everyone else. Favorite part of shopping for kids is just trying to picture the smile on their face whenever they get to open the big gift, whether it's the bicycle or the Hulk hands or just something little, that's a set of Legos that's going to make them smile. So I just try to keep that in mind while we're doing it. I just think that as a community, if we can just spend a little bit of time coming together and focusing on operating together as one, that's just going to help everybody have a better Christmas and a better holiday season.
And those are our top news stories this half hour. Coming up next, we'll learn how 4-H projects can be beneficial for the whole family. And later, elderly patients in England are finding therapy from an unlikely source. You're watching the KOM Morning News on Fox 14. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from Web City. Well, 4-H provides kids the opportunity to grow skills that they will need for later in life. We have Katie Townsend from the Kansas State Research Extension Office with us this morning. She's going to share how some 4-H projects not only help those participating, but can help the whole family as well. Good morning to you. Welcome.
Good morning.
Happy to have you. So talk to me a little bit, for those who might not know, what 4-H is and really the importance of the whole organization.
Yeah, so 4-H is for kids that are 7 to 18 years old. The catch is that our age ranges start as of January 1.
Okay.
So that throws families off a little bit. I have a little boy who has a January 18th birthday, so he's going to have to wait an extra year to join. And so that stinks a little bit.
Sure.
But then the benefit is that you get to stay in our program longer at the end. So that works out for some kiddos. 4-H is a organization where it really depends on an entire community and family involvement, and so that's why we really like to go out and make sure that our homeschool communities and things like that really know about us, because it's an opportunity for them to get in those extracurricular activities or the socialization that would be maybe similar to Boys and Girls Club or Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, or just the public school system. And so it's an opportunity for kiddos to get those hands-on life skills in a lot of different ways.
Absolutely.
So anything from par law to actually working on a specific project.
Okay, fantastic. So if we could go into a little more in depth of the activities and just kind of the projects that not only get the kids involved, but also their families as well.
Yeah, so let's take an easy project, would be photography. Everybody loves photography and likes to do that. So in the photography project, we have a few project meetings and things where we can give kids instructions. We can give you guidelines and things to do. And we have a few project meetings and some judging teams and things like that. But the thing about 4-H is that it really depends on your family getting involved in learning together. And so that's the great part about it, is that there's a lot of things in our society anymore where we drop the kid off at an activity, but now with 4-H, we need those parents, and it doesn't have to be parents. Family looks different for everybody. An older sister, an aunt, a grandma, it doesn't matter who your family is, but it takes whole family involvement to learn some things on your own at home. And there's lots of ways now with the internet. I mean, YouTube, Fab Labs, maker spaces, community meetings, lots of ways to learn those photography skills. And then you go out, you develop your favorite photo, and you bring it to county fair.
Oh, how fun.
And you sit down with a judge, and they evaluate your photo and give you one-on-one feedback. And so then that kid has a skill that maybe later in life a side hobby is taking pictures for extra money, or they become a professional photographer, or whatever the case is.
Well, fantastic. And it's a fantastic organization. And if people at home want to get their kids involved, want to get the family involved, where can they do so?
Yeah, so the best way to do it is to contact your local extension office. So there's an extension office in every county in Kansas, and Google us, Wildcat Extension District. We're in Montgomery, Wilson, Crawford, and Labette counties, and we'd love to help your family get started.
Wonderful. Well, thanks so much for being with us this morning. Happy holidays to you, Katie.
Thank you.
Stick around. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOM Morning News. It is coming up now on 7:19 on this Wednesday morning, and we've got a warmer start to the day, but the winds didn't feel much warmer out there. They're out of the southwest now, and they'll switch out of the northwest by noon across the region, but that will not stop us from warming up today. We're still looking at a nice warm day out there. It's just going to be very breezy with gusts upwards of 30, maybe even 35 miles an hour in some cases. As we head into the evening, temperatures will start to fall back, of course, and it won't be until overnight, say after midnight, that a cold front sweeps through. Once it does, our temperatures will drop about 20 some odd degrees across the region as we head into Thursday morning. In fact, they'll fall a little further between 5 a.m. and noon, dropping into the upper teens and low 20s before they'll start to warm back up again by about noon. So we're going to have plentiful sunshine Thursday, but it's going to be very windy. It's going to be very cold across the area as well as we just kind of hang out in the 30s out there. Going into Thursday evening, temperatures still kind of hovering low 30s across the area, and of course that'll lead to a very cold night from Thursday into Friday. We'll fall back into the upper teens and low 20s again. Friday, though, by afternoon, take a look. The wind's now back out of the southwest, so here comes warm air once again. Now Friday, not a major warm-up by any means, but it will be warmer as we're looking at mid-40s out there, and then that warm-up continues into the weekend. All right, partly cloudy skies from our Camera 7th and range line, 45 in Joplin. Again, south-southwest breeze is 18, gusting to 28, making it feel like 37 right now, so it does feel much colder. Across the area, temperature still upper 30s, low to mid-40s. And once you factor in the wind, though, just about all of us have wind chills into the 30s, except for Miami and Grove. Their wind chills both at 40, so it does feel pretty cold. And it'll be breezy throughout the entire day. The only thing that'll change is the winds will begin to shift out there. All right, mid-40s to start, partly cloudy skies like what we're seeing right now. That continues through about 9, maybe 10 a.m. Clouds should clear out, and we'll go low 50s by 11 o'clock this morning. Again, that's ahead of our highs today. Upper 50s for most of us. Our southern counties could even reach the low 60s. We'll have sunny skies, northwest winds by this afternoon, gusting upwards of 30 miles an hour. Into the evening, it's a slow cool down initially. We're pretty chilly by 10, back in the low 40s, and then after midnight, that cold front pushes through, and temperatures will drop about 20 so degrees, and north winds will be gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour. Over the next 10 days, that roller coaster ride, man, there's no other way to describe it. It's really what's been happening, and we're going on our 5th straight week of temperatures that cannot settle into a pattern. Like I've said before, in the summertime, we'll have 2 or 3 weeks of temperatures in the 90s. They may be up or down a couple of degrees, but they're in the 90s consistently. Same in the winter. We'll settle into a period of 2 or 3 weeks of 30-degree weather. That's just not been the case the last several weeks. So we're warm today. We get cold again tomorrow. We start gradually warming up again into the weekend. Rain chances possible to start the next week. And by Monday, we're near 60. But the roller coaster continues. Then we drop. We drop almost 30 degrees Monday into Monday night. Mid-40s on Tuesday, upper 30s on Wednesday, and then as we head toward the end of next week, temperatures warm back up into the mid-50s. We just cannot seem to set on a pattern for temperatures. I know it's messing with a lot of folks, probably making some of them feel a little sick out there. So hopefully at some point, we'll find a happy place and get to some average temperatures across the area. Let's check your forecast. We're back with more right after this. Well, there are many kinds of therapy for those struggling with their mental health.
Leah Mishkin shows us a unique approach making a big impact at nursing homes in England.
Once a month in the halls of Charlie Grove Care Home in Oxford, England.
Hello, oh, I recognise you.
A special visitor stops by.
A lovely little pink.
The power of connection goes a long way here, since residents rarely get outdoors.
All our residents are able to go out, but sometimes they either choose not to, or it's more difficult for them because of their disabilities.
What do you notice after a visit with these ponies?
Even residents living with dementia remember.
This therapy pony named Poppy brings 101-year-old Connie back to her grandfather's farm when she was a little girl.
My dog's called Poppy.
And for Walter, he's flooded with memories of his pet.
It's incredible how you can see how it really relaxes them. Yeah, it's incredible.
Sarah Woodland makes it happen. Poppy is one of 7 therapy ponies she takes to nursing homes and hospitals.
Oh, my love.
Her dinky ponies have gone viral on social media.
But there's something else for them to focus on, isn't there? So it's something else for them to think about, to focus on, to love.
Plus, it's something for them to look forward to.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's hard not to smile, seeing a pony being loved and giving that love right back.
We'll see you next time.
Yes, I hope so.
Well, Woodland says some of her mini Shetlands are better with the elderly, some are better with children, and others are brilliant coping with loud noises and wheelchairs.
Well, definitely. What a fun way to feel better about, just your life circumstances than seeing a little pony.
Yeah, something that brings you a little joy. Everybody needs a little joy from time to time.
Well, coming up, chaos in South Korea erupts as martial law was declared only for the order to be taken back shortly after. We'll have the details.
And we've got a warmer start today. The winds certainly don't make it feel that. See, look at them shaking that camera there. Well, from there, look at your forecast when the KOM Morning News returns.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:30. I'm Elise Snowy. The First Presbyterian Church hosted a charity luncheon to raise funds for the medical loan closet in Joplin. And the church served spaghetti, chili, and more. And the medical loan closet provides medical resources for people who are underinsured or don't have health insurance. They provide canes, walkers, wound care supplies, and more to people in need.
They can provide a lot more equipment to our community. If anybody is ever in need of something that insurance doesn't cover, the medical loan closet can supply.
First Presbyterian Church partners with different organizations for their First Tuesday lunches to help them raise funds. Well, Giving Tuesday is an annual day to encourage people to give back to their communities by supporting local charities and nonprofits. Now, Rafa International is a nonprofit in Joplin participating in Giving Tuesday, and their goal is to end the trafficking and exploitation of children. They provide safety, education, and care to children impacted by trafficking and abuse in the United States, Thailand, Haiti, and more. Rafa, as well as other nonprofits, are looking to Giving Tuesday to encourage generosity.
Encourage people to really think about your nonprofits here at the end of the year, and this is a great day to start that process, and just encourage them by going to their websites and giving a special gift.
One Rafa International donor has agreed to match every donation on Giving Tuesday up to $20,000. So every donation yesterday will have twice the impact. Well, after you donate to the KOM Toy Box campaign, various nonprofit organizations around the area help to make sure those toys go where they're needed in our community. And one of our partners in Southwest Missouri is the Salvation Army.
It is warming to see the community pour out in so many generous ways. It just reminds me that there's a lot of good in humanity, a lot of giving and generous hearts.
Our Toy Box Tuesday telethon continues every Tuesday of this month leading up to Christmas. Now let's check in with Chris for a look at the forecast.
Quick look outside our camera. Downtown Pittsburgh, the sun is rising, so have those partly cloudy skies out there. And we're going to continue with those through the morning, through say about 9-10 a.m. Then they should clear back out. MoDOT camera 20th in range line. You can see some clouds off there as well. And as we look at the future track, now this morning we have southwest winds that are getting gusty out there. By this afternoon, they will be gusting out of the northwest. But that will not impact our warm up today. We're going to have a pretty nice day out there. Plentiful sunshine through the morning, through the afternoon. And then we'll have clear skies this evening. It'll be late this evening and overnight that a cold front pushes through. So by 8, that's chilly, but we're still hanging out for most of us into the 40s. And then after midnight, that cold front sweeps in, switches the winds out of the north, and our temperatures drop by about 20 degrees as we head into tomorrow morning. 45 in Joplin right now, 41 in Pittsburgh and across the area. Temperatures are still holding into the upper 30s and low to mid 40s. But once you factor in that gusty southwest wind, everybody except for Miami and Grove, it feels like it's in the 30s. Miami and Grove, you feel like it's 40. I'm sure that 40 probably makes a difference, but it does feel pretty cold out there. However, we are still sitting 20 to almost 30 degrees above where we were yesterday at this exact same time. But by this time tomorrow, we'll probably have these same numbers, but these will be minus signs in them because, again, temperatures are going to drop as we head into our Thursday. Again, partly cloudy first half of the morning, clearing, clear skies. Most of us highs today, upper 50s, and our southern counties could even make the low 60s today. And then we'll be lucky to see 35 tomorrow for most of us. We'll talk about that in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, we'll see you soon, Chris. Well, South Korea in the spotlight after its president declared martial law in the midst of deep political strife, only to lift it after intense pushback. Now there are calls for the South Korean president to be impeached. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen has more from New York.
South Koreans took to the streets to protest after President Yoon Suk-yeol suddenly declared martial law and clashed with soldiers while gathering outside the National Assembly.
Through this martial law, I will rebuild and protect the Free Republic of Korea, which is falling into the depths of national ruin.
President Yoon addressed the country, accusing the opposition party of paralyzing the government. He even accused some of siding with communist North Korea. The declaration was quickly denounced by both sides, including the leader of Yoon's own party. Hours later, Yoon lifted the decree after the National Assembly voted to end it.
We are watching these developments with grave concern. We're staying in close, appropriate touch with our ROK counterparts.
Yoon was elected by a narrow margin in 2022 and has struggled to move his agenda through the opposition-led parliament. The martial law declaration banned all political activities and allowed the president to take command of the news media. South Korea's military said people could be arrested without a warrant for violating it. White House advisors were keeping a close eye during the president's trip to Angola.
Mr. President, anything on South Korea martial law?
Just getting briefed. Just getting briefed.
This is the first time martial law has been declared in South Korea since 1979 and the first time since the nation became a democracy. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. A German man is on a journey to break a world record by living underwater. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from Webb City ahead of tonight's Christmas parade. In Consumer Watch this morning, McDonald's E. coli outbreak is officially over, the CDC making the announcement yesterday. The agency said 104 people in 14 states were infected in the outbreak. 27 ended up in the hospital and one person in Colorado died. The CDC flagged onions on Quarter Pounders and other menu items as the likely source of the outbreak. McDonald's sales are still struggling to bounce back. A retail association reports near record highs for shoppers during the Thanksgiving weekend. The National Retail Federation says an estimated 197 million people went shopping from Thanksgiving Thursday to Cyber Monday. The report exceeds the 2024's Federation's projection, but just came in short of 2023's. Now, the world's largest retail trade association says many people still shopped during the extended holiday weekend, despite earlier deals and Thanksgiving falling later this year. Well, holiday shopping season means a busy shipping season for postal workers. Fox's Chelsea Edwards is in Florence, California. She takes a peek inside the country's largest postal facility to see how workers are making sure every Christmas present is shipped on time.
It's the busiest time of the year for the U.S. Postal Service.
This is Santa's workshop. We have 3,000 elves that works 10, 12, 14 hours a day, really just to get all the packages home for the holidays.
As the holiday shopping season ramps up, so does the holiday shipping season, and its hub is in Florence at the LA Processing and Distribution Center.
This is the largest postal facility in the country. About 1 million packages come through each and every day during the holidays.
So about 30 million from Thanksgiving all the way to Christmas. A lot of packages.
Executive Plant Manager Daniel Harai says it's a job everyone at USPS takes seriously.
We have to. We have a reputation. We gotta bring it home for the holidays. We gotta get it home to all of the American people that count on us to do our jobs.
But he says we all need to do our part too, which includes shipping early,
double check, triple check, and quadruple check those addresses. Gotta make sure that Santa knows where to put those packages, right? Third thing is make sure the package is sealed, make sure it's secured.
If everyone does their part, all these packages should make it in time for the holidays.
Postal Service purchased all this high-powered processing package sorting equipment just to help us get through this period. And it's just an honor to serve the American people.
And those are our top consumer stories. Let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's 7:44 now on this Wednesday morning. We're going to take a look at the future track. Now, we don't really have much to show. In fact, we have nothing to show in terms of rain over the next couple of days, but we will get to show the temperatures going here, there, and everywhere like they have been for going on about 5 weeks now. So through the morning hours, we're going to have a southwest breeze, occasionally gusting 30. We've seen it almost up to 40 miles an hour this morning. But by noon, those winds begin to shift out of the northwest. And you can see we're already pretty warm. That's the nice thing is the northwest shift this afternoon is not going to impact our warm weather that we're expecting as we head into this afternoon. In fact, we're still looking at the 50s, maybe even a couple of low 60s out there, but the northwest winds will not be any lighter than the southwest winds. They'll still be gusting upwards of 30 miles an hour. Skies remain clear. Through the evening, we're in the 40s, and then after about midnight, cold front sweeps through pretty quickly. And take a look at what happens. Winds shift out of the north, still gusting at 25, and then our temperatures drop about 20 degrees as well as we head into tomorrow morning, and they're not done yet. Again, it's like those infomercials, but wait, there's more. Between 5 and noon, they will fall back even further, down into the upper teens and low 20s before they start to turn around a little bit by about noon on Thursday. We'll start to see them back up into the upper 20s, low 30s. Still breezy, though. North winds gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour. So, of course, it's going to be colder Thursday, which means it's going to be colder tomorrow night into Friday. And so we're going to fall back upper teens, low 20s as we start Friday. However, do you see the wind arrows? They're starting to turn on us. And the next thing you know, now they're gusting up out of the southwest. And so by noon Friday, now we're back into the upper 30s and low 40s with highs pushing the mid 40s on Friday. And again, like the infomercials, we're not done yet. We're going to start to warm up again as we head into the weekend. So this roller coaster ride is one that, honestly, I'm sure a lot of you'd like to get off of. It needs to either be warm or it needs to be cold, and it needs to pick one. Now, granted, we're in December. I don't like the cold, but I know that's where it's supposed to be. It needs to pick it, and it needs to just stay there. But unfortunately, not going to be the case again. 45 in Joplin. Does feel like 37 with that south-southwest wind at 18, gusting to 28. Temperatures around the region still for most of us upper 30s and low to mid 40s. Starting to get some upper 40s. Grove, for example, sitting at 47. But then you factor in the wind, and the majority of us, except for Miami and Grove, all still have wind chills into the 30s this morning. So it does feel pretty cold out there. We're going to start 44, partly cloudy skies through about 9, skies clear, and into the low 50s by 11 o'clock this morning. And into the afternoon we go, upper 50s for our highs. Again, maybe some low 60s in our southern counties. Clear skies, northwest breeze gusting upwards of 30. North winds gusting upwards of 25 as we head overnight. And again, see, we're holding on to the 40s even as late as 10 o'clock. And then that cold front comes through, and there's that 20-degree drop we were talking about back into the low 30s. And as I mentioned, this roller coaster ride isn't over yet, guys. So buckle up. Here we are. We're going to come down tomorrow, mid-40s by Friday, mid-50s Saturday, Sunday. Rain chances to start next week. Then we're back near 60 by Monday. And then we're going to have another roughly 20 to 30-degree drop Monday night. Then we'll be cold again. Mid-40s Tuesday, upper 30s next Wednesday. But don't worry, it won't last more than a few minutes. We're back to the mid-50s by next Friday. Let's check your forecast. We'll be back with more right after this.
For the past 2 months, a German man has been living inside a capsule underwater trying to break the Guinness World Record.
Leah Mishkin takes us on a deep dive on his nautical journey.
Rudiger Koch says he wakes up at 6 a.m., checks the news, then gets started with his day. The aerospace engineer has been living inside this underwater capsule off the coast of Panama for 61 days. He says he does miss a real shower 36 feet below the surface, but enjoys the comfort of TV, a computer, internet and electricity.
I don't feel like I'm suffering down here. Not at all. The hardest is probably, well, sometimes I would like to go diving.
The 59-year-old wants to inspire a new way of living.
Moving out to the ocean is something we should do. That would be actually a contribution to restore things like reefs.
He told a reporter it's much calmer down here, not like city life. His team looks on from a research lab above.
We started the record attempt on September 26th, and then we're going until January 24th, and that's going to be 120 days.
120 days in a space, that's about the size of 2 parking spots side by side.
Ruin our days.
Well, an American currently holds the Guinness World Record for longest time spent living in an underwater fixed habitat.
He spent 100 days just off the coast of Key Largo, Florida. I was thinking in my younger days where there was a show called Sequest back in the day.
Yes.
That was kind of their thing. They had underwater communities back then. And so,
or SpongeBob.
SpongeBob's a bit different. They're sea creatures living in the sea. That doesn't... So then fish have already beat the record, all right?
All I know is SpongeBob when it comes to living underwater, so.
Well, you know.
You've had enough.
Nautical nonsense.
Nautical nonsense.
We've got ourselves a slightly warmer day today. Well, actually, a much warmer day today. Slightly warmer this morning, but the wind's not helping make it feel any warmer. Let's take a look at the future tracks. We have southwest winds this morning. By this afternoon, those will begin to switch out of the northwest, still gusting like they are now, upwards of 30 miles an hour. But we will still warm up. We're talking temperatures into the upper 50s, maybe even some low 60s into our southern counties. Clear skies continue, and then after midnight, cold front sweeps through, and our temperatures, look how fast they drop. They drop 20 some odd degrees in a short order out there. And then they will fall even more between 5 and noon. They drop back into the upper teens and low 20s before they slightly warm up tomorrow by noon into the upper 20s and low 30s. So we're going to go from really warm to really cold again in just 24 hours. That's a quick check of your forecast. We'll be back with another look at that, plus the news you need to know right after this.
Well, here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. The state of Missouri carries out the execution of Christopher Collings. Collings was convicted of raping and killing 9-year-old Rowan Ford. Collings was put to death with an injection. In a statement, Rowan's older sister, Ariane Max, said in regard to her sister, quote, "I am so proud of the girl that she was turning out to be. A part of me died when my sister died. I did lose my ray of sunshine," end quote. Collings' execution marks the 4th for the state of Missouri this year. Emergency crews responded to a structure fire at Independence Community College late Monday night. Now, the building that burned was formerly a dorm for students, but was currently used as staff housing. There were no injuries to occupants and no injuries to firefighters. The cause of the fire is under investigation. And Touchstone Security has a warning about porch piracy this holiday season. Authorities say Joplin has more than 2,600 larceny and theft cases per year. Touchstone can be helpful for neighbors to compare footage from their security cameras. Now, the experts say it takes a community working together to help prevent crime more efficiently.
And we've got ourselves a warm but breezy day. Sunny skies, upper 50s, maybe even some low 60s in our southern counties. Northwest winds by this afternoon, gusting upwards of 30 miles an hour. Into the evening, clear skies, falling back through the 40s by 10. Cold front after midnight drops temperatures another 20 degrees, and we're still windy. North winds gusting to 25. With that cold front, it says, "We love you." And it brings us the mid-30s tomorrow, and it'll still be breezy, so it'll feel even colder. And it will warm up a bit by Friday, then back near 60 by Monday. Some rain chances out there. Another drop in temperatures by Wednesday, and then another warm-up by next Friday.
Oh my goodness, I can't keep up.
It is all over the place. 5 straight weeks of this.
Wow, unbelievable. Well, an asteroid lit up the sky in Russia's remote far eastern region of Yakutia early this morning. The asteroid produced a fireball before likely burning up in the atmosphere, officials and scientists say.
The European Space Agency said the asteroid was believed to have measured 28 inches across and was spotted about 12 hours in advance of its appearance in the sky. And of course, I remember they said that a number of those things actually go through, here regularly.
All the time.
All those little small
Crazy.
ones. It's the big one you have to worry about, which thankfully we don't have one on course for us at this time.
Yes.
Well, thank you all so much for letting us put the good into your morning. We'll be back with more news and weather today at noon.
Have a great rest of your morning.